السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته جميعا أهلا وسهلا. Tonight I want to talk about Kyrie Irving. I'm out here in the park and on Sundays I like to think when I get a few Sundays off. So tonight I want to talk about the contemplation on Kyrie Irving and African Americans' attachments to pseudoscience and pseudos religion. Some people are discussing in the Black community about Kyrie Irving's promoting of a video on Amazon about the Black Americans are the real Hebrews. And this is not really a debate about if he's right for posting it or not. Is it anti-Semitic or not? This is not the discussion for this particular topic. I have other videos and I talk about it on another video, other videos. Now, there is a vacancy within the Black entertainment community, a vacancy of scholarship. And what I mean there is a vacancy of scholarship is that we find the trend where many Blacks look up to entertainers in the NBA or entertainers in the music industry or athletes who are sports players and things like that. And there is a lack of understanding how do an individual take narratives and see if these narratives are correct or not correct. So within the Black community right now, that there's many Blacks who are behind Kyrie Irving related to Black African Americans or Hebrews. And many of them have not done any research to prove it is true or false. And we have a system of hearing things, and if it sounds good, that we share it with other people without doing any academic research to see if it's true or not. And this is a phenomenon that goes on in the Black community that it also contributes to a lot of misbehaviors in the Black community. One of the first type of misbehaviors that is very common in the Black community is things that do not benefit Black people, whether it's from a behavior or a social conduct. And also when it comes to academics, there is a lack of academics in this mainstream Black social media athletes that people are following due to trends in the Black community. Kanye is one of them, and Kyrie Irving is also one of them. So this is not a debate about should he be punished for sharing it. This is not the debate on that issue. This is the topic where we're going to speak about why are African Americans in America so much in love with pseudos scholarship, fake scholars, pseudos religions, and cults. Now, some of the information that Kyrie Irving shared, a lot of it is built on pseudos knowledge, pseudos science, pseudos history, and pseudos religion, a cult. So we have to go back and look at why are Black Americans so much fascinated about Hebrews or Jews, right? And this is something you have to look at the psyche. What is the psyche of the person who is promoting this? And this is very important because the tactics that are being used in this scenario are tactics that are used against Blacks by cults, right? By cults, brainwashing tactics. They look at the psyche of the African American individual. And one of the things we have to learn from looking at the psyche of the African American is that he has lost his identity. Black people in America lost their identity due to slavery, right? We don't have our identity. We don't know where we originate from. We don't know what country. We can say it's Africa, but we don't know specifically where, what tribe, what peoples, what were our language. All of that was lost through slavery due to the evil effects of white supremacy and the economical institution that was built on the backs of Black people in America, where we are looked at as property and not human beings. So we're not allowed to keep our traditions from our culture, lineage, and names, right? So all that was lost. So now we understand this is part of the psyche of the African American, right? This is part of our psyche. We have a loss. We don't have our identity, right? right? Our heritage is lost. So many black people, they are fascinated by certain things related to nobility. Why are black Americans so much fascinated about Hebrews or Jews? That's another thing we have to ask ourselves. Blacks, we are fascinated about Hebrews. Where do we learn about Hebrews from? Where do we learn? Where do black Americans know this word Hebrew or Jew? Where do we know it from? Let's ask yourself that question. Where and how do black Americans know about Hebrews? We don't know our lineage, right? We don't know where we come from in Africa. That was lost due to slavery. So where are we getting this familiar word Jews or Hebrews? Where are we learning it from? Ask yourself this question. Where do black Americans know the word Hebrew? It's the Bible. The Bible. All right. So historically, black people lost their religion, they lost their lineage, the tribe connection, their language, they lost all of that, and they was given a culture, religion based on their slave masters, right? So black people was given religion in America based on their slave master, right? Based on their slave master. The word Hebrew, how do black people know about Hebrews? We lost our history, we lost our tribe, right? We lost our language, we lost our religion, so we don't know what our true religion is. Our ancestors' religion. We can make assumptions from where Africans were taken from slavery. We can make the assumptions from those continents, from that country in the continent of Africa, what were their religions, right? We can make assumptions, but we don't actually know. So we'll go back to again. Where do black people in America get the word Hebrew? They get it from the Bible. Who gave Christians or black Americans the Bible? Their slave master. White people who conquered, enslaved them, brought them to America, took away their religion, took away their language, took away their lineage, gave them a religion of Christianity, right? And then they didn't give them any version of Christianity. This is a historical fact that white people in America gave blacks, slaves, called a slave Bible. Look it up. Look up the word slave Bible. Search it on Google. It is an actual Bible that the slave master gave to Christians, all right? The black Christians, the black slaves. And in this book, it taught the slaves to be good to their master. The slaves should be good for their master.
Inside Washington's Museum of the Bible, a single volume that is like no other. The so-called Slave Bible, remarkable not for what's in it, but for what's not.
So about 90% of the Old Testament's been removed and about 50% of the New Testament's been removed. To put it another way, a normal King James Version has 1,189 chapters in it. The Slave Bible has only 232.
Missing are chapters and verses that might have encouraged uprisings. Book of Exodus, redacted. No story of Moses demanding Pharaoh, let my people go. Gone is Galatians, and the verse, there is neither bond nor free, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus. And no Jeremiah. Woe unto him that useth his neighbor's service without wages.
What they've left in are verses such as Ephesians 6:5, which is the famous verse, slaves be obedient to your master.
Looking at this Bible, it's hard to tell that anything's been taken out of it.
That's correct. It looks like a normal book. For many enslaved Africans, this would have been the first time they were exposed to the Bible.
A Bible selectively edited to instill obedience, using religion to underpin the horror of slavery. When people encounter this exhibit, what lasting impression do you want them to leave with?
But we want to pass the message on that may this never happen again. The Bible itself is a whole book. It's not one that you get to carve up and use this piece or that piece.
The Slave Bible designed to repress rebellion.
It gave them a watered down version of Christianity that is whitewash. And in these narratives, in this book, black people were given the stories of the children of Israel, who were Jews, who were Hebrews, who were enslaved by the Egyptians, and that Moses came to the people, right? So black people got the word Hebrew from these stories in the Bible that was given to them by their slave master who forced them to be Christians. All right, let's get this. We have to talk about the psyche of the African-American person, right? So Christianity was forced upon him. And then his religion was based upon a watered down version of Christianity that to make the slave more passive and work harder and not be aggressive against his slave master. So this is where we get the word Hebrew from, the Bible, which is given to them by Christians, white Christians, to what? Make the slaves more passively and be what? happy with being enslaved. So this is where we get the word Hebrew from, black people. And black people, because they lost their lineage, they start associating themselves what was familiar to them. What was familiar to them? Well, the Bible is familiar to them to this day, right? The Bible was what familiar to them. So they are relying on their lineage based on assumptions and pseudoscience and pseudos religion. All the black people who are talking about black people in America are the true Hebrews. None of them have done any research, real research or scientific research. None of them have done it. And the people who are preaching this or promoting this mostly are from a cult who base their information on pseudoscience. Things that sound good and attractive to the black person make things sound good to the psyche of a black person who doesn't know his lineage, but he's familiarized with a book that was given to him by Christians or this white slave master, and his focus or his narratives is around slaves. So when we have people who are sharing this type of information, we have to start asking, why are black Americans not doing real research based on factual information? Because that takes time and intellect. And it's easy to follow pseudoscience and pseudo historians because it's not based on any real research. You have to do hard work. You have to put in time. You have to invest in this type of research. And black people are not wanting to do it. So the pseudos way to do it is easier, and it soothes the loss of that black person not knowing his lineage. If you look at black Americans in the US, why would you want to attach yourself, right, to say that the black men are the true Hebrews? And then when you focus on that narrative, you're not going to look at the real objectives. The real objective is how you get into slavery. Who enslaved you? That is the narrative you need to be sticking to. Who enslaved you and why? And what they did while they enslaved you. Instead of you focusing on black people come from Hebrews. This is a waste of energy and time. And it take away from pointing the fingers of the real perpetrators, or the white society in America who enslaved blacks. Then with that same narrative about black peoples are Hebrews, then we had to go back to, then if how are you Hebrew? Okay, I'm gonna keep on repeating. What is your great-great-grandparents? On your mother and your father's side of the family, who are your grandparents? That is related to your lineage in America. Most black Americans don't know their lineage in America. They don't know who their great-great-grandfather is and their great-great-grandmother on their father's side or their mother's side. They cannot trace them, and it's there, but they could connect themselves to being Hebrews. Why? Because pseudoscience and pseudo religion, everything is easy. Common sense, not having common sense is what they're looking for to brainwash people. You could connect yourself to being a Hebrew Israelite, but you can't connect your family tree in America. Something is wrong with that. And if you was black American, I'll be focusing on connecting the dots to my family tree. Why? Why be focused on connecting the dots to my family tree? Because then that's going to connect me to who I'm related to here in America. It's going to connect me to what happened to my ancestors in America. It's going to connect me to the crimes that slavery did to our ancestors in America. See, we don't want to go and research that because it's going to be trauma, or it's traumatized, or it's not easy, or we just lazy. But that's what you should be searching for. What is your family tree in America on both sides of your parents? And if you put the energy and time into that, then you're going to find out the crimes that happened to black people in America. How slavery separated families, how slavery broken families, how slavery left black peoples impoverished while they was used to make one of the biggest economy in the world today, America. And how many people profited off of the slavery, and what were the results, and what happened to our ancestors here in this country. That's what black Americans need to be focusing on, because if you focus on that, then you'll be able to point out the fingers and say, hey man, white peoples, the US government owe black people reparation. And if you're just focusing on, well, black peoples in America are the true Israelites or the true Hebrews, but you cannot connect your own family tree in America, you look like a complete idiot. You look like a complete imbecile. The same man is going to say he's Hebrew and he cannot connect his own family tree in America. Then how the hell are you going to connect yourself to another continent of the world that's another religion and another tribe of peoples, and you cannot connect yourself to your own family tree in America? You see what pseudoscience and pseudo religion does to people? It make you stupid. Pseudoscience and pseudos religion and brainwashing tactics, it make people stupid, and it don't make people intellectual or smart. And this is why Kyrie Irving looks very stupid promoting what he's promoting. It soothes the black person who does not have intellect and who is intellectual lazy and don't want to do the groundwork for or about his own people struggles here in America. Pseudoscience is easy. Following a cult is easy. I don't have to put no work in. I just need to show up and share and pass false information or wrong information or misinformation without knowing what is the process of doing research that is what? Beneficial, or be able to recognize or find things to be true or not true. This is the sadness that many black people in America, this is what you're following. You are following pseudoscience and pseudos religions. Then you notice the people who are posting or sharing these things, if you look at them academically, they have no type of academic knowledge, no degree, no college degree, have done no research, don't know how to do research, don't even know how to do a survey. But they can say, oh, black Americans, we are the true Hebrews and the Israelites. Promoting a cult which looks to get its members who are black because they don't know their lineage, they don't know their roots. It's very easy for them to say because they've been brainwashed with the white man's Bible. So you have another black cult come along. Yo, let's flip these black peoples who've been brainwashed by Christianity from the white man version. Let's put a black version of this Bible and give it to them. We are the true Hebrews. We are the true Israelites. And they can't even show their own lineage or family tree in America. They don't even know their own family tree. This is for idiots. This is for people who are intellectually lazy. This is for people who are intellectual or incompetent. And then you praising a person like this and you're behind a person like this. We need to sit the person down and tell them you are wrong. This is not how you do research. Oh, the documentary, it sounds good. Oh, that documentary, it sounds good. No, because something sounds good doesn't mean that it's true.
My name is Abu Bara. I am the founder of Black American Muslim Opinions. We are just getting started. Our mission is to openly discuss and examine social issues faced by Black Americans in their communities and formulate solutions that can be implemented in these communities from an Islamic perspective. We need your support to keep the organization going. Your donations will help us do the work necessary to help Black people overcome their social and economic challenges. Visit our website and learn more about what we do.